Hi drummers, hope you're well. Right, 3 great drum fills using drags and 4-stroke ruffs. Now I love these rudiments, they're from grade 2, specifically Trinity Grade 2, they appear just like this. They're in the grace note family. So at grade 2, you hit flams and then drags and 4-stroke ruffs. Long story short, flams are one single grace note, as in a note just before the main note that sits in front of it and fattens it up. These are flams. Drags will go like this. So you play a little bounce double leading into the main note, man, gracing it. And then the 4-stroke ruff is a single stroke roll style sticking, this time 3 grace notes, 1 main note. These are super cool rudiments, man. They really develop a lot of stuff in your playing, in my opinion. Your nuance, your subtlety, your dynamic control, your speed. Like, just brilliant for developing all the technical skills, all the physical skills you need on the kit, which makes them worthwhile in their own right. I have to say, I think they're brilliant for that. But quite rightly, even students who just get on with these and use them in that way to develop your drumming also come back with the question quite often, like, can you actually use these? Like, can you make these, into music, like in the form that they are? And yeah, absolutely you can. So just 3 random examples here. I'm just going to pick 3 drum fills and just basically stick these into them and see, we can see the sort of effect that they have. And they're really fun, man. They give a real flourish and a real sort of subtlety and, again, nuance to simple drum fills, I think. So the first drum fill I'm going to look at is good old flats in Dagenham, right? This is often played with a flam at the start. That sound, right? And all we're going to do here is play a little drag at the start instead. So instead of playing a single grace note for the flam of flats in Dagenham, we're going to play a drag. So to be super clear about this, the way it works is for a right-hander, let's play the grace notes as a little with the left stick as a little double, and then the right stick that comes after, making the drag. The right stick is always the one that's on the beat, right? So the last note of any of these rudiments is the one that's on the beat. So it normally goes. This will go. So the last note of the rudiment is the first note of the drum fill. Hopefully that's clear. Here we go. So we've gone from ba-ba-ba-ba-bum to... And that little double grace note just really sets it up in a really cool way, doesn't it? Gives it a nice little flourish. Cool. Number 2 goes... So another drum fill that starts on beat 3, 1 and 2 and 3 E, 4 E and O. And we're going to play a little drag at the start. So again, 2 little grace notes with the left, setting up the right stick, which is the first note of the fill. Nice little flourish again, just a great little way of enhancing the fill. And this all assumes that this is suitable for the music. It does depend on what music you're playing, but it can sound great in the right place. Great. And then fill number 3, well, the basic fill goes. And we're just going to play the little drag at the start. So those 2 little left stick grace notes are going to come in to set up that first note of the fill. Cool. Is that making a bit of sense? So ba ba boom, ba ba boom, ba 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 boom. That one's a 1-bar fill. We put a little drag at the start. Okay, cool, man. I'll play through the whole lot with drags. Here we go. And fill number 1. Fill number 1 again. Okay, fill number 2. And fill number 3. And as you can probably figure out here, there's nothing really specific about these fills. These are just some random fills really that I came up with. But the point is putting that drag in and at the start like that can really give it a nice flourish and a bit of subtlety and a bit of nuance that I just really dig when it's used in the right place. Now let's go back into the same fills, but we're going to now put a 4-stroke ruff at the start. It's just going to give you that ba-ba-ba-ba at the start. So the grace notes here are played a single stroke roll style, left, right, And again, for a right-hander, and again, the right stick there at the end of the rudiment is the first note of the drum fill. So on the flats in Dagenham, it'll go, you're getting that, so da-da-da-da is up to and including the first note of the fill. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And has a different vibe to it. I really like it. Again, in the right place, it can sound brilliant. And the thing with that is you need a bit more time to do the da-da-da-da, do the three little grace notes. So what drummers will often do, I certainly often do, and I did there, is actually the hi-hat. You might have noticed on the and of beat 2, I actually killed that one there. I dropped that out to give me time to do the three little note flourish that creates the 4-stroke ruff. A good place to start, it doesn't have to work like this, but a good place to start thinking about these 4-stroke ruffs is that the grace notes start on the and of the previous beat, right? So remember the drum fill starts on 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See what I mean? Da, 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 da. So that the grace notes start on the and, like a 16th note triplet. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, fill number 2. Same format, right? So we're going to drop out the hi-hat as we hit the snare on 2, and then we're going to play. So the little grace notes here for the 4-stroke ruff start on the and of beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3. Fill number 2. And fill number 3, which remember basic version, will go. So there, the little grace notes, da-da-da, starting around the and of beat 4 on the previous bar. As you get better and better at your 4-stroke ruff, you can get them closer and closer to the main notes. They just become like a real flourish. But yeah, on the and is totally cool to get you going. So last thing I'll do, I'll play through the whole lot. And remember, these are just random fills, basically, I've made up. You can do these with your own fills as well. But I'm going to do those 3 fills, and I'll play each one 2 times. I'll go through the whole lot with the drag, and then the whole lot with the 4-stroke ruff. Here we go. Fill number 1, drag. Fill number 2, drag. Fill 3, drag. And 4-stroke ruff. Fill number 1. I'll do it again. Okay, fill number 2, 4-stroke ruff. Okay, fill 3, 4-stroke ruff. Hopefully this is all making a bit of sense, and then just have a jam, man. Have a play around, come up with some of your own fills. So this is about putting the drag and the 4-stroke ruff just in a bit of musical context, and it can sound really cool and really subtle. Drummers who I like, who use these quite a lot. If you listen to the drumming of Steve White, famously with Paul Weller and Style Council, he uses these quite a lot. And his brother, funnily enough, Alan White in Oasis, like that whole era where he played with Oasis, drum fills and the grooves as well, man. You hear the drag rudiment used all over the place there. So check these guys out. Also goes right back to like classic soul kind of feel as well. So really nice one. Rudiments, man. Flipping love them. If you're not doing them, I recommend that you do. And yeah, the grade 2 ones, and often people just sort of go through and then don't really play them again after grade 2. But man, you can use them all over the place, especially those drag and those 4-stroke ruffs. So thanks a million, and thanks for watching as always. See you soon. Cheers.